and welcome to my podcast, Soul Expansion and Inspiration. This is Series 2, Episode 11, and my name is Ali O'Shea. Today, I would like to give a very warm welcome to my guest today, Sherri Keenan. Sherri is a Reiki master, a shaman, and a medium. So, warm welcome to you, Sherri. How are you doing?
Thank you. I feel blessed to be here. I'm wonderful.
Thank you.
How are you?
Great, thank you. Great. Whereabouts in the United States are you? Would you like to tell everybody?
Sure. I'm from South Dakota originally, but I live in Florida currently.
Oh, lovely. So you have the beautiful weather over there.
I do. I live in paradise. I
Yeah.
love it. It's amazing.
Yeah. And you say to me before, because we've spoken before, that it's much more spiritual there in Florida than it was where you lived before. Isn't that right?
For me, it is because South Dakota is, very Christian and Republican area. And my way of doing things, I guess, or whatnot, was kind of seemed a little crazy and a little bit off there. But when I came here, it was there's so many people exactly like me, and I had so much more I had to learn. So it's been a really wonderful opportunity to meet some amazing like-minded people that have been really supportive about my journey on my path. So it's wonderful.
That's wonderful. Exactly what you want.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you say that you've always been on your spiritual path, that it just feels like that it was always part of you. And in 2012, you started to pray to be put on your shamanic path, as you felt that there was much more to your life and that you had a higher purpose. So would you like to talk a little bit about that journey for you and how it progressed?
Yes. So throughout my life, I've just felt connected to spirit, and I've felt like I kind of knew all these things. I just didn't know what they were called until I obviously started learning them. And throughout my life, I really felt connected. 2011, I did a lot of experimenting with different earth medicines in order to kind of expand my own consciousness. In 2012, I kind of realized I was in a place where my ego was working overtime, and I really wasn't getting to where I wanted to be. So I prayed to spirit for the opportunity to get on my shamanic path and to really figure out where I was going and how I needed to get there. And so spirit decided to give me the gift I asked by setting me or whatnot. I was in prison. So I went to prison for possession and distribution. And there I created my own prison ashram. And I had the opportunity to read books and to study and to learn and to figure out who I was and where I wanted to be on my path. And it actually gave me everything I needed, and really being able to learn that we are all doing time, even behind bars or outside of them, even in our own minds. So it's been wonderful.
Yeah. Can I just ask you what a prison ashram is? Because I don't know what it is and the listeners may not.
No, that's fine. So an ashram is basically a place where you live, or a place where you go. It's a holy place where you would connect. In India, they have ashrams and I lived in an ashram for 30 days when I became a yogi at Yogaville. In prison, I just created what I called my prison ashram. It was my place of spirit, my place for praying. I made it very sacred. And being in South Dakota, I was surrounded by a lot of Native American women. And through that, I had a lot of opportunity to really grow and understand more of sacred medicines and sacred practices and walking red roads and understanding what it means to have the sacred medicine and connect to earth and really allowing that to become part of who I am in my walk of everyday life.
Wow. And how long did you spend in prison then?
Just 10 months, but it was a wonderful opportunity. How long did I spend in prison? Behind those bars was 10 months. Yeah. a lot of prisons I still am breaking out of, but within my own self as I learn. So.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, that's a lovely way of putting it. Yeah. You obviously grew and expanded while you were there, and it really set you on your path. For those who don't know, because I know a lot of people don't know what a shaman is. Do you want to explain to people what your take on shamanism is?
Sure. So basically with shaman, I like to make things really simple because I don't think it needs to be so
Perfect.
hard. So I don't put a ton of words. So basically a shaman is a medicine person, a healer, the person that you go to help guide you to your next step, to your next place. Um, you know, just basically that a shaman wouldn't be the tribe leader, but they would be the person you would come to for your medicine, to answer your questions, for healing, you know, how to heal your past, your present, your future, to invite your ancestors to be there with you, to bring your guides from your past and your future, just to
Oh,
really holistically surround you with the love that time and space don't exist in.
oh, lovely. That sounds really great. So, you have a long list of people that have inspired you over the years. Do you want to talk about any of them and how they've inspired you?
Yeah, I made myself a little list of the things that we had written down, because, you know, when you had asked that, I was like, wow, the people that inspire me, you know, it was very easy to come up with Gandhi and, you know, the Buddha and, um, you know,
All the
and
usual
Eckhart
suspects, as we call
Tolle,
them.
right? And Thich Nhat Hanh. That was really easy. But then, you know, I really started thinking about it. I'm like, wait, Bo Lozop and John Lennon, all the Beatles, really, you know, and Nako Bear. If you haven't listened to medicine music, I invite you to connect. But then, really, my inspiration comes from my neighbors, the people that I meet. Every human that I come across is my teacher. So limit it to a book that I read by Michael Harner that changed my life, as compared to my neighbor whose one sentence brought me to my knees. It's really very equal. So I learn from everybody that I meet in gratitude.
Yeah, that's a perfect answer. I love that answer because we are always learning and growing, and expanding. And, even our children can be our best teachers, or our parents, even sometimes. And, those around us are always teaching us something that we need to know.
Right. And even Ram Dass says, if you think you're enlightened, go visit your relatives, right?
Yeah,
So yeah,
exactly. I love that one.
we always have the new tests, always tests.
Yeah. So you talk about calming the mind, listening and hearing. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yes, because the thing, my biggest thing and my biggest focus as a yoga instructor, and through my practice and helping others, my biggest focus is on anxiety and depression. It's something
Sorry,
that is really,
you're sorry, your sound is going out a little bit in and out. I'm not sure if,
sorry about that.
sorry, it
Sorry
just
about
it got really low. We can't really hear. Sorry.
That's
So,
okay. What I was saying was that through our paths, through our journey, um, we we tend to sorry, I'm just coming back to that again, to the listening and communicating. So my biggest focus in my journey is on anxiety and depression, and helping people with that, because it seems to be the biggest pull in people's lives right now, and our biggest struggle. So
mm,
mindfulness is my biggest place where I connect in what I really try to teach people. Because really, when we're living in the past is where we find our depression. When we're living in the future, we find our anxiety. But living
exactly.
right now and listening not only to ourselves and our intuitive self, but to other people, not responding, but hearing what they have to say. Because as much as we believe that we know something, just taking that one moment and having somebody else share their perspective, we can really gain something new. And really being mindful in all of our moments and coming back. And I had somebody say, I was teaching a class Wednesday, and we discussed mindfulness. And she said, that's easy for you to say. I I just wanted to laugh, only because I really want to bring awareness to the fact that mindfulness is bringing yourself back 100,000 times a day. It's not a continuing thing, it's a practice. There's no life masters out here. We're
Mm,
all just learning, we're all winging it. So
mm,
really just coming to a place where you can listen intuitively when your body says you need to stop, when you need to go, when your body reacts to something that's happening, not telling yourself that story or creating that story, and really listening and saying, why is my body reacting that way? What is really happening? How can I calm the situation, become mindful, and walk through this present moment with confidence? Because I don't need to carry all of this with me. And our bodies really do tend to live in the past. So really becoming mindful helps us to learn what we're capable of and bring us to now. And we have more confidence that way and a happier life.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, I'm an advocate for mindfulness as well. And it's so true. You have to keep coming back again and again and again to your breath or to something that will bring you back to the now moment. And, you know, it's also about listening to other people when they speak as well. And, you know, people are so often sitting waiting to jump in and say their piece rather than actually listening to what the other person is saying. And that as well is about being in the now and in the present moment. Instead, stop and really listen to what the other person is saying.
It does. I was teaching a class this morning, and the gal was talking to me, and I was listening to her, and I was going to reply, but I couldn't remember what I was going to say because I was so intently listening. And which is wonderful. Imagine silence. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful, beautiful if you welcome it in.
Absolutely. You also say that we should own the person you choose to become without apologies.
That's right.
Do you want to talk about that?
I really do, because this is the biggest thing. One of the biggest things is we don't give ourselves permission. And the thing is if you are constantly living in this past self and this past ideas of who you are, you're never going to get to that next place. Everything we do is an illusion. We're working an illusion. We wear different hats, whether we wear a spiritual hat or our mom hat, our chauffeur hat, you know, whatever we're doing throughout the day, we're wearing a different hat for. What I am suggesting is own it. So I grew up in the 80s, and people who wanted to be something were called posers. I say be a poser. Pose for that job that you want to be. If you want to be a spiritual person, wear the spiritual person hat. You will become that. If you want to be a person of love, show love. Act like love, and you will become love. It's simple, but it sounds so hard. If I want to be kind or accept kindness, you just simply start walking their path. It's scary. It takes a lot of confidence and bravery. Who am I to say I should be sitting here having a spiritual conversation with you? Except for the fact that I want to wear that hat. I want to become that shaman. I want to become that healer. I want to be healed myself. And the only way to do it is to walk the path of being healed and to help others along the way. And through that journey of becoming and being, you do become that. You don't master it. It's always a practice, but you start to become that love or that generosity, that compassion, that teacher that you're choosing to become.
Yeah. So put yourself out there and do that thing that you want to do. Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Even before you think you're it, just start becoming.
Exactly, because the thing is, the subconscious mind doesn't realize the difference between what's real and what's imagined anyway. So you can write any story you want.
That's right. And there's no such thing as time and space, and you already are that.
Yeah, exactly.
Just be it. Yeah.
Exactly. So you say that you are a medium. So what mediumship skills do you have then? Because then, you know, you just naturally have that gift, don't you?
Yeah, it's not something that you choose, and it's not something that, you know, I don't know if something you can become. I've not really talked to people that way. Everyone that I've ever spoke to that has, you know, any kind of extrasensory perceptions or any kind of things like that, you know, it's always been kind of part of them, and we all have that.
We all have the innate ability to hone it, you see. But you see, a lot of people would go on and have training and things like that to really, you know, I was just talking to my friend. She's a spiritual medium, and she went through lots and lots of training, even though she had it from a very young age. So we were talking about the different ways that people can have it, like that later on in life you might just suddenly start, you know, having psychic abilities or mediumship things where spirit are contacting you and hadn't before. So we were talking about that earlier today, in fact. And so that's why I just wondered what kind of experiences you've had, because it's always interesting to me.
Right. And I'm going to be taking more higher level learning as well. Again, being from South Dakota, we didn't have those options where
Yeah,
here, I'm near Tampa and St. Pete and Clearwater. So I have so
lovely.
many opportunities. That's beautiful. But for me, it's really the silliest thing. The silliest things happen. I'll be sitting next to someone and it's not like having a conversation. It's not like somebody whispering in your ear. It's more like
A
it's more
download.
like a hearing but it's part of who you are a hearing. I don't it's very hard to explain it, and if I tried, I'd be wrong.
It's like a download from source.
Sort of, yeah, it's like a download. And so you get this and you repeat it and you're like, I don't know what it means. I don't know what any of this means, but here it is for you. This is your gift. And it resonates with them. And so that's kind of how everything started with me. It would just be these source downloads, and I don't know what it means, and I would just have to share this information and give this gift and just be like, this is for you, and I love you. And it always seemed to make people feel safe and better. I've never had any bad experiences that way. And again, I'm still learning with all of those things. It's just
Yeah.
part of who I am, and I just go with it. I just go with it.
Yeah. Yeah. You say you mentioned speaking your truth, which is really important, and choosing intuition. So, would you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yes. I say that because throughout our lives we get these opportunities, no matter what it is, where we're going to live, who we're going to date. We ask other people for their help, even when we have these feelings inside of us, even when we know what we feel or what we think. We still ask other people for their permission to feel that way. We want to know that it's okay. And the thing is that we have to start learning to go with our intuition, because it is really an answer. So in our bodies, we all know that we have our mental awareness that we react to, but we all have that gut feeling. And I truly believe, and I have some books I'd love to share, but we have two ways that we react. So our gut actually has its own nervous system, and that's where we react first. So you have this absolute opportunity to decide what you are going to do with the next moments and what you do next. I'm not sure if I'm answering that all correctly. I kind of got
No,
off on my.
you're doing great. Yeah, yeah. No, that's perfect.
So it's
So,
just but
so that's how you go with your intuition, isn't it? You follow your gut. That's your intuition speaking, and
right. And the biggest thing too is you have to live with those choices. So even if you go to all of your best friends and you ask them their opinions and they give you ideas and thoughts, and you go with them because it feels safe and it's the best idea, and this seems the most logical decision that you could make, is it really your best decision for you to make at that moment? Because what is your body telling you? What is your intuition telling you? Because 10 months down the road, if something falls apart, you can't blame your friend who gave you the advice you chose to take because you didn't follow your intuition.
yeah,
You have to live with those future decisions. Your future self has to look back on the decisions that you make today. So I invite everyone to remember that the choices that you make, and to follow your intuition and to own that, and to know that, gosh, maybe there's a reason that spirit is telling me this. And that even if it doesn't feel safe at the moment, you don't know what door that's going to open. And you don't know what door being safe is going to close. And you don't know what safety means, what restrictions and what labels and what definitions that may later bring to your life that you don't want. So I say follow your intuition, own it, and remember your future self will be looking back on you and being really proud of that decision.
yeah, yeah. Perfect. Because it's almost like, what Abraham Hicks talks about is when you go away from your intuition, you're going away from your source, your soul, and you can always feel that, and that's where you feel it. You feel it in your gut because that's your intuition, and it's a disconnect from you and your source when you go with somebody else's choice that you're not 100% sure with.
Right. And then later you regret that choice because later you'll be shown why you should have followed your intuition. And really, we don't want to walk through this life with regrets. That's why we get all these amazing gifts to use. That's why Spirit has given us these gifts, and we should run with it. We should find gratitude and really start building them up and honoring them.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. So you do workshops and things like that, and did you say also that you teach yoga?
I do. I am a yoga instructor.
Do you want to talk a little bit about what you teach around the area, and whether you have any online courses and things like that, and what it is that you do to help people over there?
I will. Yes. So on Facebook, you can find me at Awake and Rising Reiki and Yoga. I'm always awake, rising, and seeking. So for my current yoga classes, I'm in Tarpon Springs, Florida. I teach at Gypsy Air and Company. On Monday nights, I teach a restorative yoga class. And in that class, I take everything from you, all of your sensories. So I have poetry, candles, music, aromatherapy, acupressure, all the props, and a yoga nidra to follow.
Nice.
On Wednesday, I love it. It's my favorite class. On Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock, I'm currently teaching cannabis yoga for chronic mindfulness. So this class is an education-based class where we talk about using cannabis medicine within our lives and within our practice in order to help us find mindfulness and to help us connect to source also. So that is another one of my favorite classes. Other than that, I help out with stand-up paddleboard yoga. Today I taught.
Hang up, hold up a second. Do you teach that in the water?
Yes, right on the water.
Wow.
Yeah, so you can come right in the middle of the Gulf Ocean and come do stand-up paddleboard with us. We do yoga in the park. Today I taught a sun salutation class based on the 4 directions. I hold full moon ceremonies. I teach people about teas, and I'm also going to be creating soaps that really connect with spirit as well. They're herb infused, Reiki infused, love infused, all about self-care and self-love, because that is really what I want to promote more than anything, is how to love yourself. Because we are.
Oh, where's your camera gone?
Oh, there we go. Oh, sorry about that.
That's okay.
Back. There we go. So a phone call came in. But that's really, loving ourselves is really the key to everything. And so that's really the gift that I want to give to everyone, permission to really love yourself and not hold anything back.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more again, because I have a self-love workshop. It's called A Journey to Self-Discovery. I think self-love is one of the basic components that we need at the core of everything, for everything, and at the basis of everything. And yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. That's amazing that you do all those things. It's fantastic. I mean, I've never heard of yoga paddleboarding and or yoga stand-up paddling boarding.
I teach hula hoop yoga too, so we use hula hoops in class. Really, I just like.
Oh man, I can't use a hula hoop.
Everybody says that. I haven't lost a hooper yet. I actually teach a 101 hooping class, and it really connects you back to your body and back to just being playful.
Yeah.
I think we take things too seriously, and rather than doing that, I think we should do some somersaults together and just be silly. It doesn't the easy way is hard enough.
I bought a hula hoop a few years ago to try and get back into doing that kind of thing, and I couldn't do it.
It just wasn't going to work out.
It just goes, I just wiggle about the place. I look like such a tool.
Well, everybody says that. I'll when we get off, I'll give you the trick.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, and one of the biggest things too is that, and I want to share if I can, is the secret to life, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Everybody's always searching for the answer to life, right? The secret. And I think I found it, and I really want to share that today. So throughout my time, and reading books and things like that, I think I've figured it out, and it really has to do with you and being on that day. So the answer to life is very simple. It's all about intention. So anything that you do throughout your day and throughout your life, if you are doing it in that moment with the best intention and the very best that you can do, and now that's not going to look the same minute to minute or day to day, the best you can do in that moment with the best intention, with the best, kindest heart, You have absolutely done everything right. Even if it blows up in your face 5 minutes later, there's nothing you did wrong. You never have to feel guilty. You never have to feel sad, sorry, only joy and gratitude because you did everything for yourself in that moment. And I hope, if anything, people take this gift with them and they know that you have the secret to life. It's all about you. It has nothing to do with anybody else. Nobody else has to wake up and look at themselves tomorrow but you. You get
Yeah.
to love you by just being the best you can in that moment. And sometimes that just means getting off the couch. And that's it. And that's good enough.
Brilliant. Love it. Oh, thank you so much. That's wonderful. Is there anything else that you'd like the listeners to know while you're here?
Yes, I just want to let them know that I love all of you. And I am so grateful for this opportunity to share just some of my thoughts and some of my feelings, a little bit of my journey. I'm here to answer any questions and to help in any way. If you're in Florida, please reach out. If you're not, please reach out. I'm also going to be creating a yoga nidra on YouTube video to help people who can't get to my classes. And when that
Brilliant.
comes out, I'll be happy to share on your page as well.
Brilliant. And so where can people contact you if they wish to contact you online? Where's the
Awake
best?
and Rising on Facebook or awakeandrising@yahoo.com.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Well, thank you so much for being my guest today, Sherri. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for sharing your story. I appreciate your time.
I'm so grateful for your time as well. Namaste.
Thank you so much. Namaste. Goodbye, listeners, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.